Senate Republicans have been huffing and puffing and even derailed their own agenda for weeks because they were so mad about President Trump's $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. But when they had the chance to kill it forever today, not enough of them voted yes. But that's not all that happened. The Vote-a-Rama is on in the United States Senate right now. It's been going on all day. The Vote-a-Rama is a required step before Republicans can vote on another one of President Trump's key priorities, a reconciliation bill to give ICE and Customs and Border Protection another $70 billion. That's, of course, on top of the $75 billion Republicans already gave ICE in the big, beautiful bill. But before senators can vote on that immigration reconciliation bill, they have to go through this Vote-a-Rama, which is this wonky Senate procedure where any senator can offer an amendment and that amendment would get a vote. Now, depending on what's in the amendment, it would either need a simple majority or 60 votes to pass. Now, these amendments are designed to make people look bad. They're meant to put lawmakers in a difficult position so the opposing party can use their support or opposition against the amendment during the election. So let's look at what they've been voting on so far today. So far, every single amendment in the Vote-a-Rama has failed, but it's what they're voting on and who's voting yes and who's voting no that is quite interesting. There was an amendment to prohibit funds from being used for the White House Ballroom. There were two different amendments to try and shut down that anti-weaponization fund. And there was an amendment clearly meant to prohibit Bill Pulte from being the acting director of national intelligence. Again, all of those amendments failed, but let's look at who voted yes and who voted no, because it'll probably show up in a campaign ad. When it comes to Trump's anti-weaponization fund, between the two separate amendments that were offered, of course, all the Democrats and independents voted yes to kill the anti-weaponization fund. But so did Republican Senators Collins, Husted, Sullivan, Cassidy, Cornyn, Curtis, Ernst, Moran, Murkowski, Rounds, Tillis, and Young. Again, these two separate amendments failed, but it's still very interesting to see the number of Republican senators who are clearly not happy about the fund. Some of them feel emboldened to challenge President Trump and vote yes because they're not running in any election and they have nothing to lose. And others are absolutely in tough re-election battles and they don't want their Democratic challengers to run a campaign ad saying they support that anti-weaponization fund. But some are neither of those things, and they voted yes to kill it because they're just not happy about the fund. As for the amendment to block any taxpayer money from being used for President Trump's ballroom, all the Democrats and independents voted yes to block the money, but so did Republican Senators Cassidy, Collins, Husted, Moran, Murkowski, Sullivan, and Tillis. And then there was that amendment clearly meant to stop President Trump from installing Bill Pulte as acting DNI. All of the Democrats and independents voted yes, but so did Republicans Cassidy, Collins, and Murkowski. Now, this Vote-a-Rama is going to continue for however long it takes, and when it's done, the Senate will begin the process to vote on the ICE and CBP reconciliation funding bill. Because it is a reconciliation bill, it only needs a simple majority to pass, not the normal 60 votes to overcome the filibuster. 0 Democrats are going to vote yes on this bill because they had nothing to do with it, and they're very upset that no changes are going to be made to the way ICE and CBP conduct themselves on the streets of America. But Republicans don't need Democratic votes. If all the Republicans stick together, because there's 53 of them, they could easily pass this ICE and CBP bill on their own. But any one of those Republicans who voted yes on these amendments will be able to derail this immigration bill if they choose. So if you want to see how your senator voted on all of the amendments